So I read in a story last night that to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Nike's Just Do It campaign, that they've gotten a spokesperson or the face of the campaign. They chose Colin Kaepernick to head that campaign, to be the face of the Just Do It campaign. Now, I know you can watch a lot of other YouTubers who are going to have a way better educated opinion of what they think about this. Me personally, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if Nike chooses him as their campaign spokesperson, spokeshole, face of the campaign, set forth, whatever. In my opinion, he is irrelevant. He doesn't play football anymore, and he never will. He might play in the CFL, he might play in NFL Europe, but he will never, ever, ever play on an NFL team ever again. And he chose that. You guys got to understand something really quickly. For all you idiots out there that are on his side and that you agree with everything he says, he hasn't done anything. This is what he did. He got injured, suffered a very bad back injury, was a shell of his former self. He was never a pocket quarterback. His quarterback, him being a good quarterback, 85 to 90% of it was relied solely on his athleticism. He lost about a good 25, 30 pounds of muscles. People don't realize Colin Kaepernick used to be yoked. He was huge. And now, after that back injury, it looked like he lost about 30 pounds. So he's a shell of his former self. He's lost most of his athleticism. And all of a sudden, he grows an afro, and next year, he's black power, fists in the air, police brutality. But hasn't really spoken out on anything. I've seen him kneel down for the protest, for the NFL national anthem protest, and I agree with him that he's able to do that. Go ahead, I don't care. Go ahead and do it. I personally think you should stand up for our nation's anthem, but I also approve of him being able to do that. I think it was a bad part on Nike because I don't know how it could be a good thing. The only good thing in Nike's estimation is that they're definitely getting talked about. That's good for them, right? They want to get talked about. Well, they definitely want that. I think it's going to hurt their sales. I don't know how much it's going to hurt, but they're going to feel it. I believe that they are going to feel and see their sales drop. They could have picked a better person. I think they could have picked a better person than Colin Kaepernick. I couldn't even think of a worse choice. He doesn't even play football anymore. If you're a sports apparel company, why are you picking somebody that has such a negative image, especially the last 2 years? I mean, again, I have to bring it up. What has he done? What has he done? What have you done, dude? You protested what? Did you bring light to any kind of a cause? No. All you did was start a process of division amongst NFL ranks, and it's because of Colin Kaepernick that the Raiders had a fucked up year. Because I heard that there was a bullshit going on in the locker room between Derek Carr and other people on the line because Derek Carr is a Trump supporter. So all you've done is created division in NFL locker rooms. You know what I mean? That's why you can never really talk politics, because everyone is always going to have a different opinion. And it just seems like now we're in the days where if you are a Republican or a conservative, part of the GOP, then immediately you are likened to Trump, and then everyone is against you. You're racist, you're a xenophobe, all this phobe. Everyone is an ist or a phobe. That's all talking points I've broken down to nowadays is an ist and a phobe. That's it. So, listen, I'm not the one that's going to slam Colin Kaepernick. I used to be a big fan of him, but I'm not just because he sucks now. It's not even really his political opinion that I don't like him anymore. I don't like him because he sucks. He doesn't play football. Why the fuck am I going to like a guy that I disagree with on politics, and plus he sucks now? So good job, Nike. Kudos. You're going to take a pretty good hit. But, I will end the video on this. I wish Colin Kaepernick, instead of protesting our nation's anthem and kneeling down and disrespecting our country and soldiers who have died tens and tens of thousands throughout the history of our country. Why don't you take a stand for people that live in Southeast Asia, in Indonesia, in China, in the Philippines? Why don't you take a stand for the slave wages that they are paid? Why don't you stand up for them? Why don't you stand up for a woman who lives in Indonesia, who has 3 kids, and she works 14 hours a day, 6 days a week at the Nike factory making their shitty shoes? And she makes just enough to pay her rent, buy drinking water, and buy food for her kids, and pay for transportation to get to work and back. How about that one? Why don't you go ahead and protest that? Hey, if you're making 55 cents an hour or 55 cents a day or whatever, how come they can't be paid 65 cents an hour or 65 cents? How come they can't get a 10-cent raise? Why don't you stand up and protest that, motherfucker? Thank you.